been on the At the Movies in the 90s podcast this week. So that's
right,
with AJ, who does the Modern Horror podcast, very kindly invited me on to his other pod that he has. And so we did a wee episode of that, and I genuinely have never felt so nostalgic in my life. Like it's funny because we've obviously been doing our 1995 retrospective as well, but we've been doing like the sort of grown-up films, whereas obviously in the mid-90s I was very much like, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, and so it was nice to actually go back and watch like a kids film, if you know what I mean, and just reminisce about all that. So that was lovely. But yeah, most of it has just been work. I've got the house to myself this weekend. Chris is away in Aberdeen at a car show, so I made the most of that by watching Cabaret last night, rewatching Cabaret, because Chris absolutely hates that film. So I was like, yes, I can watch it and no one will annoy me. But there's been all this like discourse online. The reason I've watched it is because so do you know that obviously like on Broadway they're having like they've set it up like basically like it's the Kit Kat Club. It's a sort of in the round kind of Easter experience. So the run of that is coming to an end, and it's the actor Billy Porter, who is in Pose, who's playing the MC. And there's a lot of like controversy around his portrayal of the MC. Like, he's not making him German for starters, which apparently is a big thing, and also his interpretation of some of the songs is coming under fire quite significantly. But because I was watching all of this online and listening to him singing, I was like, I'm going to go back and watch the original and best and just enjoy that. And actually, I still feel like it's one of those films where the MC's last song, so that if you could see her like I do, still really like makes you go when you watch it. And then that last shot, which obviously mirrors the opening shot, but you turn around and it's the audience and they're all in brown shirts. Like, I feel like this really stands up as a film in terms of like the world is sort of happening around all of these characters, and you see little glimpses of what's happening, and then like the last few shots are really quite killer, and I feel like it really stands up as a film, and obviously as a stage play as well.
Yeah, it's taken a certain period of time as its reference, but it was reflecting attitudes and problems in the 1970s as well, and obviously a lot of them still carry through to now. So you're exactly right. It's a cracking movie as well. Really like it.
It really, really is. I feel like, I know that Chris absolutely hates the character of Sally Bowles, but she is kind of meant to be annoying and flamboyant and sort of frivolous as well. So she's not acknowledging the politics that are happening around it as well. But I absolutely love it. And as I say, there was just a lot of noise going on social media, and it just put me in the mood to go and watch the actual film itself, because I really, really like that. So I don't know if you've seen any of that sort of chat, but people are really coming down hard on his interpretation of the character. But I guess as an actor, it would be so easy just to go in and just copy like the Joel Grey version or the Alan Cumming version, which is really beloved as well. It would be so easy just to go in and copy that. I think it's really hard, especially like a role like that, which is so iconic, to go in and sort of make it your own without drawing criticism from someone who doesn't like it because it doesn't fit a certain iteration of the character that they like.
Yes, well, that's exactly what it comes down to. It's what they like. It's what their version of it is. And you get that with every piece of media now, because everything's getting remade. Everything's always been remade and redone and everything. So you're bringing in new people to play existing characters, and a lot of people say, "Oh no, it wasn't as good as the one I saw when I was 20 years old," and all this sort of stuff. It's and a lot of people don't like change. They want change. They want something new. They want different stuff. But then when it comes to it, go, oh, no. I want to change, but not that.
Yeah, but not that kind of change. Exactly. I want to change in my own terms. So, it's just like an interesting one, because I think it's like there's a lot of, look at Rachel Zegler, obviously playing Eva Peron in Evita just now. Again, that sort of drew criticism, and it's like, well, actually, she is Latina. Like, surely that character should be like, yes, it used to be like the Elaine Page version, but actually, should that character be played by a Latina? Like, probably, because it's she's playing Eva Peron. So it's one of these things where you're never going to please everyone. Like, and obviously he has a very distinct style of Billy Porter has a very distinct style of performance, and that's what people are having issue with, because he's sort of like ad-libbing, I guess, on some of the sort of style of the singing. But well,
but I think the way I take things is I take things individually. Yes, there is history behind them, but if they're bringing something different to the character and it works in the context of, like a Broadway show, then yeah, go for it. Yeah, try it out. And the whole, the thing I've heard about the Eva Peron character as well is not so much to do with the colour of her skin. It's got to do with when she's singing on the balcony.
Yeah.
She's not actually singing in the theatres outside.
Yeah.
And it's projected, and people are saying, why am I paying £200 to watch a screen, to watch somebody doing the big number on the screen? And it's theatre. It's a spectacle. That's what you do, So, yeah,
well, even this weekend, they've redone Jesus Christ Superstar, and Adam Lambert is in it, but they've cast Cynthia Erivo as Jesus. So I'm waiting for, and I watched I watched a video of her singing Gethsemane on Friday, and she nails it in a way that it's so full of emotion, like it's incredible. That I am waiting for, somebody being like, Jesus wasn't a woman, or Jesus wasn't black, or Jesus, I'm waiting for all of this. And it's like, Jesus wasn't singing in musicals either, but that hasn't stopped you, up until this point. So,
yeah. I mean, that was controversial at the time as well, just because they were doing a stage show about Jesus Christ, So, yes, it will never end. It will say, and the problem, a lot of the problems is that you said, there's been a lot of controversy online. See, the people who don't really care about it, they won't have posted. They've just been like, yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, they'll go on to see the show.
Yeah. It's the people who want to be triggered. And I hate using the word triggered, but yes, it is the people who actually want that. They want to have an opinion, a controversial opinion about something, and they're going to write about it. And 140 characters or less, or whatever it is these days. But yes, it's just, I take very little notice of, especially Twitter. I tend not to look at that very much now, just because it's an echo chamber. So you go into the stuff that you like, and you're getting opinions that are coming back are just exactly the same as your opinions, or you scroll down 2 or 3 comments in and it's a fucking nightmare. It's just
It's literally like that clip of Miriam Margolyes. I don't know what she's doing, but she's in a swimming costume and she's just going, fucking hell, this is a fucking nightmare. And that's me every time I go online.
Yeah. Yes, not much fun at all. Yeah, really. But yes, it's what's happening, really, isn't it? It just seems to be one rolling controversy after another. So people are moaning about one thing. No, it seems to be that a lot of people aren't actually stopping to enjoy anything anymore and just have a good time. They're having a good time by not having a good time.
That's a really interesting point, though, because if you think about it, negativity in terms of like controversy, I suppose, is likely to get so much more clicks, reactions, people watching your video, whatever. So why go online and say like, I had a great time at this and I really enjoyed it and I thought it was, I like these performances, when that might not necessarily travel as far. Whereas if you go on and rip something to shreds and people are either like baiting you in the comments or engaging in some way, shape or form, it's, if you're chronically online or you want to be online as part of your career, then you're going to go further with being negative about stuff as opposed to actually just enjoying something and being present in the moment as well, and not just thinking about how can I turn this into content as well.
Yes, yeah. And ultimately, enough content gets money. That's what it comes down to. You want a career by doing something like that. And fair enough, some people have, it's become a sort of a modern version of like a pyramid scheme. The people at the very top are making money from it and they're able to have a living, but in order to get to that sort of level, people are not able to do that anymore because there's too many people. It's like podcasts and everything as well. Look at podcasts when they started 20 years ago. There's hardly any ones that broke through and actually sustained a sort of regular output, became very popular, and they got an audience and they were able to, well, some of them were able to monetize that in a certain way, which is good. But how many do you see now that break through? Especially, I mean, look at ours, for instance. It's very small. We have a small audience, fair enough. We're not doing it for that reason, but people are doing it for that reason. They're trying to monetize it. And then you're up against the fact that every other week there is a new celebrity podcast. It's one that's fronted by somebody who may have been looking Love Island or whatever, but they've got a name out there already, so it's already I think it's getting kind of a wee bit oversaturated, to be honest. There's sort of too much stuff, the same as everything else. There's too much content out there to actually cover things.
Yeah, and I think the thing again with podcasts and stuff like that, like if you're, and I hate using these as an example, but like if you're Andrew Tate and you're Joe Rogan, again, they've sort of exploded because of the controversies, like not because they've talked about anything new necessarily, because these opinions have been around forever. It's just that they've blown them up in a way that, you know, gets clicks, gets people talking about it, you know, whether you agree with them or not. But then it's creating this sort of like, these are the dangerous ones in the sense that they've created a sort of subculture of people who are chronically online and soak up everything that they say, and it has consequences, obviously like real life consequences. But it's one of these things where if they'd come on and been like polite and really like pleasant people, would these podcasts have gone on for as long, or would they have been as notorious or famous or whatever you want to call it? Probably not. No, but the fact that they've courted all these really, you know, controversial characters, or they've been controversial characters themselves, means that they have a sort of, I guess, a notoriety as opposed to like famous necessarily.
Oh yeah, definitely, yes. And at some point it's going to burst, but it's going to be a long time off, I think, before people just switch off and say, well, you're just saying the same thing, because there's only so many controversies you can have.
Exactly.
And it goes round and round and round, and you think, well, how long is that going to last? But I suppose you move on to somebody else and they're talking about something else. But yeah, what I've noticed with podcasts over the last maybe 3-4 years is the number of adverts that are in all of the commercial ones now. Like the rest is entertainment. They start off with like a 2-minute ad for Sky because they're sponsored by Sky. So it's all adverts for Sky Glass or whatever. And but not just singling them out. Like obviously, Kermode and Meal, they left the BBC, did their own thing, and they've got like 3 rounds of ads and an hour-long show as well. And basically everything has got that, which is, I know you can just skip it, but at some point you'll get it so you can't skip it.
I know. I did wonder how long that would take, because, and also interestingly, the rest of the entertainment is sponsored by Sky, when obviously on the 28th of August, Richard Osman Thursday Murder Club comes on to Netflix. So I wonder if they'll get, like, obviously it launches on a Thursday, obviously, but I wonder if like those preceding episodes will be maybe sponsored by Netflix, or is he allowed to draw attention to his own film? Is that a conflict of interest? I have no idea.
I think yes, because he's talked about his books in the past as well, and obviously that's, you know, so that's in the same sort of arena, if you like, because it's Sky doesn't have anything to do with it. I think they're just, even though they're sponsored by Sky, they're independent. It's actually a company that Gary Lineker has a major part in.
I remember you telling me this, actually. They've got the rest is history, the rest is politics, all those sorts of shows as well.
Yeah, there's a few. There's maybe about 4 or 5 different. I think there's actually quite a number of them, but those are sort of the main ones. And they are an independent company, so they're obviously sponsored by Sky. Yeah, fair enough. But I think the Sky one's a long-term deal, because if you actually look at the banner for the podcast, that actually says on it, there's a wee Sky logo on it as well, you know, in association with, you know, Sky Glass or whatever it is, that kind of idea. So yeah, I think they're the sort of main sponsors. So I don't think it will matter if they're talking, because they don't exclusively talk about stuff on Sky. They don't have a section just for what's coming up in Sky Cinema or anything. So yeah, because they've got too busy talking about MasterChef. That's
I cannot believe that's both of them sacked now. And what on the news was it? No, it can't have been yesterday. Was it Thursday or Friday? So this series is going to air, like this series that they've shot. And a contestant has tried to take, I don't know if she's like taking the BBC to court or whatever, but basically she's asked that she is removed from the footage because she doesn't want to be associated with the two of them. And obviously there was a big debate around, like, you know, should it be aired in the first place? And now that it's not just one of them that's fired, it's the two of them. And obviously, like, how does that reflect on the contestants and things like that? And this woman obviously was convinced that, or she wanted her section sort of taken off. It's blown up in a way that, like, I don't think anyone ever predicted. Obviously, the Greg Wallace stuff has been around for a while, but I think in a way someone at the BBC sort of hoped it would all go away. And then
Yeah.
it came back with a vengeance, and it turned out that it wasn't just him that had been behaving incorrectly, it was John Turturro as well. It's unbelievable.
Yep. I think it probably will get cancelled if one of the finalists turn around and say, remove me from the footage, because then you don't have a programme, because there's only, I think the final of it usually has three chefs. Yeah. So if you take one of those away, then it's very noticeable rather than one out of like 6 or 12.
Yeah, I suppose that's, yeah.
So yeah, it would be even worse if it was the winner and said, no, I don't want any part of this. How are you going to have a programme about that? So yeah, it's very strange. Yeah, but I mean, they could always use CG and just transplant. You know, bring somebody else in, bring Kevin Spacey in to actually host it.
He's also been back this week. He was performing Frank Sinatra songs at a holiday resort in Spain or something.
Wow, James. Was that a charity thing, or is this his
new
career? Or what?
I think this is what he was doing for a living. Like, I assume obviously he got paid for the session, but yeah, somebody posted a video of him and he was singing That's Life, and apparently he was singing like a lot of Frank Sinatra songs, a lot of sort of big band kind of classics and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a hotel resort in Spain. It wasn't like, and by that I mean like it was a regular hotel resort. It wasn't like he'd been flown into, I don't know, the UAE by a sheikh or something like that and paid millions of pounds. I mean, like it looked like a normal holiday resort and he was performing.
Weird. That's weird, because he did Bobby Darin.
Yeah.
Bio, didn't he? And he did all the singing in that as well, because that was his pet project. I remember at the time that was what he wanted to do, and he was very into doing all the singing on set and everything like that as well. So yes, yep. And obviously he was involved in like dogs as well, because he was doing a bit of grooming as well while he was there. So
I was like, did Kevin Spacey race dogs? I didn't realise. Completely set me up. Yeah.
You should have seen that one coming along. Really, that was fairly obvious, that one. So, I do have to mention the photo, the augmented photo of Chris.
Oh, yeah, he's going to age so much better than I am.
Yeah, I'm telling you, El Guapo. Yeah, he is the handsome one. Yeah.
He was like, I'm really looking forward to getting old now. And I was like, why were you panicking before? And I was like, you'll probably go more white than that, because obviously his dad is like fully white hair. I mean, he's still got like really thick head of hair but like hilarious black eyebrows, but he's got like fully white hair. So he might go that way. But yeah, he was quite chuffed with that. And of course, all the people in the comments were saying like, oh, you look amazing and all this sort of thing. So it's because I do all of the stressing and worrying, which is why I look 60 now, whereas he'll get to 60 and still look 40.
Yeah, I liked the fact that it was, it was all beautifully lit behind him, and that kind of thing in the car.
Look like what do you call it? Like an Edwin Hopper painting or something like that.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. Very, very handsome. Very endearing.
I'm also really laughing because, and I really want to do this, but I think Chris would kill me. People are basically wrapping themselves head to toe in tinfoil and using that Julia Garner sign. It's so, but there was one guy who literally had his ironing board, because obviously he must have not had a surfboard, and he was standing on that, and he wrapped that in tinfoil as well. He was standing on it. It's so good. And one of the interviews that I was watching with her, they were like, oh, do you know you're a trending sound on TikTok? And she was like, oh, I don't have, what is that? And I was like, oh, bless. Because who was it? What is, forgotten her name. The girl from Stranger Things, she's Ethan Hawke's daughter.
Maya. Yeah.
She was saying in an interview actually that she had gone for a few roles and stuff like that, and she'd basically been told that she didn't have enough Instagram followers. I was like, what the fuck? Surely we're not basing films on. So it's interesting to see like celebrities that don't obviously engage in social media and stuff like that, whereas some of the sort of maybe younger ones, I guess, are saying like, unless you've got a significant following, you're not getting cast, because then we can't turn you basically into like content or like that, a trending sound. Now that sound obviously is purely sort of like accidental. It's not something that she's put on her own social media because she doesn't have it. But I thought, what a depressing state of the world that we're in, that you've been told that you've not got enough Instagram followers to get a part. Not like you're not good enough, or actually we're just going in a different direction, or, you know, we don't want to be accused of nepotism or whatever, just you don't have enough Instagram followers. Like, how depressing is that?
Yeah, considering that in the marketing of films, there's a whole social media presence that they generate, you know, like,
and I
for
feel like
Fantastic
I've
Four, there's
really,
official sites for it and everything.
yeah, I feel like this summer in particular, and I don't know if it's just because, you know, we've had like all these big blockbusters, but I feel like this summer in particular, we've had F1, Superman, and Fantastic Four back to back. And basically, anytime you've logged on like TikTok or Instagram, it's like, oh, look, you know, Brad Pitt's doing Lad Bible Snack Wars, or they're doing Truth or Dare on the Superman cast, or they're doing, you know, so I feel like they've gone really, really heavy on these sort of like clickable moments in order to generate interest in the film, which I feel like I've never seen on this scale before.
Oh yeah, I think it's just a reaction to the costs that are involved in producing a film. I think now,
Do you think?
that when you talk about the budget for the film, and then you say, well, you're going to be using the budget again just to market the film.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of reached sort of peak reasoning that, do we want to be using print media? Do we want to be using billboard advertising? You know, how do we want to get this across to the most number of eyeballs? And it's all social media. It's not anything to do with the sort of traditional ways that they promoted films in the past, even down to the way they do interviews and things. They still have the same tour that they do in the films and places, but what you see now is a lot of it is based around the wee clips that they can extract from it. And put them online, so you're not seeing like a 10-minute interview with Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby. You're seeing 3 half-minute snatches where they're having a good time, and it's really kind of enjoyable. And that can be used in so many different ways, and you don't need to have the same sort of money spent on it. You would imagine it's a lot cheaper for them to do that than it is. So I think that's a lot of it. It's a different way of doing it in order to save money, but also have the maximum impact. And it's obviously working with these films because people talk about it,
and that's it.
Yeah, it's cross-platform and everything.
Seats. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's what it is. More than anything else, it's money, because they're spending $300 million on a film. They don't want to be spending the same amount, having to, you know, push it out there to get people involved. So, and it's long term. They can do these like online campaigns long term. They can just drip feed wee snippets and interviews and behind the scenes, and like you say, doing all the wee challenges and all that, or having Brad Pitt walking behind the camera at an F1 race, that kind of thing. You know? So it's just, it all adds up, and it's all just wee bits of extra publicity for them. Yes, I think.
And I guess the thing is as well, if they're worried that people aren't in the cinema, they're not going to see your trailers. So how else do you reach them?
Yep.
You reach them on TikTok, Instagram, all that sort of thing. So it's just funny though, because I think because we've had these 3 films sort of back to back, that I'm noticing more and more. I'm like, part of me is like, when would you ever see bloody Brad Pitt doing that sort of thing? But it's because obviously there's like this contractual thing where it's like, we're going to go hell for leather on, you know, TikTok challenges, or, you know, do the hot wings challenge or whatever it is. And actually like that's going to get people to go and see your film over a traditional advertising slot on TV, for example, or a poster on a bus stop, you know?
Yes, definitely. And the Brad Pitt thing is obviously his production company is involved in the making of that film. So yeah, he's fully invested. He wants to get a return on that. He wants people to actually see the product. Definitely. So yeah, and that's happening more and more. Not so much with the superhero things, because that's Marvel and DC. That's their bag there, the companies. But with these other films, it's like a number of different sort of interested production companies in this. So yeah, you tend to get actors having more of a say and getting more involved and doing more of these stupid things, because it all helps. It really does.
Yeah. Also, last weekend at the Belgian Grand Prix, they replaced the normal F1 title music where they show all the drivers with the Hans Zimmer score. So they're still promoting the film.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, because it'll be coming out It's Apple, isn't it? It's going to be coming out on.
It is,
I think they were the ones that, and that's possibly their biggest film hit to date.
It must
because
be.
they've obviously.
It must be.
I know they won the Oscar for the one 2 years ago. I can't even.
Zone of
remember the name
Interest.
of it, but no, the one about the.
Oh, Killers of the Flower Moon.
No,
No.
The one about the girl who she was deaf and she wanted to, or her whole family was deaf and she wanted to do
Coda.
something with music. Yes,
That was
that one. That won an Oscar.
It did.
So I think that's sort of the biggest sort of profit that they've had since then, because I don't think they made any money in Killers of the Flower Moon, because that went to that. It wasn't well attended, put it that way. Whereas F1 has been totally bloody massive. So
yeah,
and it'll get a second life on
exactly.
Apple TV, so.
I think the Killers of the Flower Moon was in cinemas for a week before it disappeared onto Apple TV, which is a shame because I actually really enjoyed the book. Just haven't got around to watching the film yet because it disappeared so quickly, and I don't have Apple TV. So
yep, kind of everything. That's the thing.